Welcome to AffairsCloud. My name is Vikas Rana. We have started a new initiative that will help the aspirants to revise the current affairs through options. The options selected here are of utmost importance. They will help you to revise current affairs of the past 4 months. This will boost your memory through mind mapping. Due to time constraint, we have limited option revision in the video. Rest of the options revision will be available in our daily current affairs application quiz section. Hello everyone. So in this video, we will be discussing important current affairs for the first week of the May month. Session will be quite interesting and important, so do pay attention till the end. You will be learning multiple things. Let's start. First is United Nations first international conference on digital public infrastructure held under Dash countries leadership in New York, USA. What is this digital public infrastructure? This is the infrastructure, basically the technology that is used by a country in order to cater their population. If we take example of India, in India, this is your Aadhaar card, this is your e-sign, this is your digital locker, right? And UPI, one of the most important, because it is one of the most important payment transaction systems in India and as well as globally. So this is your digital public infrastructure, and with this technology, India is catering huge population, that is the largest population in the world. So recently, United Nations first international conference on digital public infrastructure was held under India's leadership. What is the location where was this held? In New York, USA. And the new technologies that will be coming up, or the use cases that will be incorporated in ahead of time, they will be based on the sustainable development goals. Correct? Take a note of this. Along with this, remember, from India also, who hosted this? It was hosted by Permanent Mission of India and MEITY, that is Ministry of Electronics and Information and Technology, in cooperation with iSPRIT. What is this iSPRIT? It is your Indian Software Product Industry Roundtable. Apart from this, if we talk about Belgium, it hosted the first ever nuclear energy summit, correct, that was organized by International Atomic Energy and Belgium. Then if we talk about Switzerland, remember, Davos summit was held here. Davos summit was held in the Switzerland, that is the 54th annual meeting of the World Economic Forum, also known as Davos Summit, and it was the 54th edition of it. If we talk about Uganda, and one more thing, what is the theme on which this was held? The theme being rebuilding trust. Then if we talk about Uganda, remember, heads of states and government summit held in Uganda on 19th and 20th of January, correct? And from here in this, Indian delegation, that is our External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, took part in this, that is known as the 19th Non-Aligned Movement, and this was held in Uganda. Right? Question can be asked, this 19th NAM Summit was held under the chairmanship of which country? It was under Uganda. Next, in May, RBI announced the interest rate of Dash on floating rate saving bond 2034. So RBI announced the interest rate of 8%, correct, on floating rate saving bond, right? Apart from this, this is a variable rate bond, as the interest will change after every 6 months, and the maturity period here is of 7 years. Minimum investment will be here of 1,000 rupees. Apart from this, if we talk about RBI's quarterly house price index for the third quarter of fiscal year 24, the All India House Price Index increased by 3.8%. That means the houses in India, on an average, the rate of them grew by 3.8%. Then the repo rate was kept unchanged at 6.5% by RBI. Then if we talk about 4.5, this is the CPI data, that is your consumer price index or your inflation data. Right? This is also known as your retail inflation, and it was at 4.5%. Remember, this is your basic retail inflation. But if we consider the food inflation, remember, recently a data was released that states that food inflation is close to 8%, and this is one of the main reason that the interest rates have not been decreased, and RBI has made sure that they will be keeping the interest rate same. Next, as per the data released in the report of the National Council of Applied Economic Research's monthly economic review for April 24, it is projected that the Indian economy will grow faster than Dash in the financial year 25. So it is expected to grow faster by 7% in this year, right? And here remember, the Purchasing Managers Index for the manufacturing, it was reached at a 16 year high. That means we can say the manufacturing in India is growing. Then if we talk about World Bank, they projected that the Indian GDP will be growing by 7.5% in 2024. IMF, International Monetary Fund, both are headquartered in Washington, DC. IMF projected that India will be growing by 6.8% in FY25. And for 6.6%, remember it is World Bank that is expected that Indian economic to grow by 6.6% in FY25. Right? Next, name the personality from Asia who has recently won 35th Goldman Environmental Prize, also known as Green Nobel Prize. So Alok Shukla is the personality. He is from Asia, right? And remember, he is the convener of the Chhattisgarh Bachao Andolan and the founding member of Hasdeo Aranya Bachao Sangharsh Samiti, and he has won the 2024 Goldman Prize from Asia, and the award also known as your Green Nobel Prize. Here Alok Shukla, he spearheaded, or he was the chairman of the committee campaign, or he looked after the committee campaign that prevented 21 planned coal mines from encroaching almost 4,45,000 acres of biodiverse forest in Chhattisgarh. If we talk about Teresa Vincent, right? Teresa Vincent, remember that is the Europe's largest saltwater lagoon, that is Mar Menor. Teresa Vincent, she led a campaign, right, that was to protect Mar Menor. This is the Europe's largest saltwater lagoon from being collapsed. If we talk about Marcel Gomes led a campaign exposing JBS, the world's largest meat packing company. Then Jadav Peiyang, here remember, not Jadav Peiyang, if we talk about Murava Maruchi Johnson, correct? He halted Varat coal mine, safeguarding more than 20,000 acres of nature refuge, right, or natural area, and this prevents the release of almost 1.58 billion tons of carbon dioxide, right? And she presented setting case upheld in 2023 that allowed various indigenous groups to oppose the coal projects, and this is all related to your climate change. Next, who has been recently appointed as the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Geo Financial Service Limited for a period of 3 years? So Hitesh Kumar Sethia, right? Ministry of Corporate Affairs appointed Hitesh Kumar Sethia as the new MD and CEO of Geo Financial Service Limited. He will be in this position for the next 3 years. If we talk about Praveen Achyutan Kutty, remember RBI has approved the appointment of Praveen Achyutan Kutty as the MD and CEO of DCB Bank. He will also be in this position for the next 3 years. If we talk about Sanjeev Agrawal, right, he was appointed as MD and CEO of NIIFL, that is National Investment and Infrastructure Fund Limited. If we talk about Dipesh Nanda, one of the largest integrated power companies, that is Tata Power, has appointed Dipesh Nanda as the MD and CEO of Tata Power Renewable Energy Limited. This is a subsidiary of Tata Power. Moving on, according to ISRO's Indian Space Situational Assessment Report for 2023 released in May, dash objects originating from 212 launches and on-orbit breakup events were added to the space object population in 2023. So a total of 3,143 objects were added to the space population, right? And that was from 212 launches in 2023. Correct? Take a note of this. Apart from this, if we talk about ISRO's long-term satellite imagery, they were covering the Himalayan river basins from 1984 to 2023, and they have discovered that the glacial lakes are rising, and approximately 2,431 lakes that are larger than 10 hectares have been identified during this period, and around 67 glacial lakes have expanded. Because of the climate change, the icebergs are melting, the water is coming to these river basins or glacial lakes. Next, which company has recently built the ammunition cum torpedo cum missile barge LSAM-20, also known as Yard 130, that is the 6th barge of 11 ACTM barge project of the Indian Navy, launched in Thane, Maharashtra. Which is that organization? It is Suryadipta Projects Private Limited. Correct? And this induction ceremony for the same was presided over by Madhusudan Bhui, Indian Naval Armed Service General Manager of Armed National armed. Then if we talk about Madgaon Dock Shipbuilders Limited, remember Indian Navy commissioned INS Imphal. INS Imphal, that is Yard 12706. This is a stealth guided missile destroyer designed by Madgaon Dock Shipbuilders Limited. If we talk about Cochin Shipyard Limited, right, remember here first three ships of the SWC project were launched here, or we can say Cochin Shipyard has recently launched 3 Indian naval ships. What are the name of it? It is INS Mahi, INS Malwan and INS Mangrol. Then if we talk about Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers Limited, here remember 5th and the 6th ships of the anti-submarine warfare shallow watercraft project were launched. They are Agreh and Akshay. If we talk about Agreh, this is the 5th ship, and Akshay, this is the 6th ship. Next, when was the Ayushman Bharat Divas observed in India to celebrate the success and achievements of Ayushman Bharat scheme? Right, it is 30th of April. Ayushman Bharat Divas observed on 30th of April to raise awareness about the objectives of Ayush Bharat scheme, that is a flagship scheme of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And this day it is celebrated as a part of Gram Swaraj Abhiyan. Correct. Then if we talk about 7th of November, it is observed as National Cancer Awareness Day. If we talk about 25th of September, observed as Antyodaya Divas Day or Antyodaya Divas. This is the birth anniversary of Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay. Then on 16th of March, we observe National Vaccination Day. National Vaccination Day. Correct. And there is a theme for this day that you can remember: vaccines work for all. Next, when was the Satellite Technology Day observed across India? So Satellite Technology Day is observed across India on 19th of April, right? And this day commemorates the successful launch of India's first satellite, that was in 1975 on 19th of April, right? And what was the name of it? It is Aryabhatta. Correct. Take a note of this. And this Satellite Technology Day in this year, in 2024, it commemorates the 50th year of Aryabhatta satellite. Correct. Then on 12th of April, we observe, or we can say on 12th of April, remember United Nations International Day of Human Spaceflight is observed. On 23rd of August, this day has been declared as National Space Day by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in order to commemorate the, or in order to address, or in order to commemorate the successful launch of Chandrayaan-3, and it landed on moon. Correct. Or we can say because of the success of Chandrayaan-3, National Space Day is observed on 23rd of August. Then if we talk about 4th of October, remember this day is observed, or we can say from 4th to 10th of October, we observe this as UN World Space Week, right? And the theme here is space and entrepreneurship. Next, which city has recently announced the construction of world's largest airport terminal worth $35 billion? It is Dubai, UAE. And this airport terminal is said to have the world's largest capacity upon completion, and it can handle up to 260 million passengers annually. Next, according to recently released data from RBI, the credit card spending increased by 27% in the financial year from nearly 14 trillion rupees in FY23. Take a note of this. Then remember, top 4 credit card issuers, who all are they? HDFC Bank is the largest credit card issuer, followed by SBI Card, followed by ICICI Bank, then Axis Bank. Correct? Take a note of this. Apart from this, remember, credit card transactions in Feb 2024, it showed a growth of 26.67%. Credit card growth. Right? Credit card transaction growth showed a rise of 26.67%. Then, according to Worldline India Digital Payments Report for the second quarter or second half of 2023, the UPI transaction volume in the second half of 2023 increased by 56%, right? Take a note of this. And the value of transaction increased by 44%. I repeat, number of transactions increased by 56% and the value of transaction increased by 44%. Next, which of the following surveys have been recently launched along with the Consumer Confidence Survey by Reserve Bank of India to get inputs for June's 2024 monetary policy? It is Inflation Expectation Survey Household, right? This seeks qualitative and quantitative responses on price change and inflation rate, correct, for the current and 3 months ahead, also 1 year ahead periods, right? Take a note of this. Apart from this, this CCS, that is your Consumer Confidence Survey, will be conducted in how many cities? It will be conducted in 19 cities. Apart from this, if we talk about All India Survey on Higher Education, here remember the Department of Higher Education under the Ministry of Education released this AISHE, that is All India Survey on Higher Education. Direct question can be asked that this is released by which ministry? It is released by Ministry of Education, and this is the 12th edition of AISHE and the second survey done through the data capture format. If we talk about International Trade in Banking Services, RBI, they have released the annual survey on this international trade in banking services. This provides insight about the banking activities of the 14 Indian banks and 44 foreign banks. If we talk about Urban Frame Survey, here remember the Field Operations Division of NSSO, that is National Sample Survey Office, that comes under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. They have signed an MOU with National Remote Sensing Center. It was under ISRO's to facilitate this urban frame survey in a digital mode. Right? Next, which bank has recently partnered with ANQ Finance to launch Pi and Fi co-branded credit card? It is Yes Bank, right? Yes Bank has recently partnered with ANQ Finance to launch Pi and Fi co-branded credit card. And this Yes Bank ANQ Pi credit card, it is a digital only card. This Pi one, this is only digital, right? Basically used for UPI for domestic transactions. And this Fi, this is a this Fi credit card is issued against the Pi card, and this is all both domestic and international purchases, and it is a physical card also, but Pi, it is just a digital card. Then if we talk about HSBC, that is Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation Limited India, they have partnered with NESL, that is National E-Governance Service Limited, and they have introduced e-bank guarantees, that is electronic bank guarantees, that is to basically digitize the trade finance. And with this, HSBC India, it became the first foreign bank in India to offer electronic bank guarantees. First foreign bank to issue electronic bank guarantee. Then if we talk about ICICI Bank Limited, they have enabled the customers to pay any merchant QR code using the digital rupee by ICICI. Digital rupee, this was launched by RBI, and with the help of the ICICI Bank customers, they can use the digital rupee by ICICI, correct, on their ICICI application to make payments through this digital rupee. Then if we talk about Federal Bank, they have signed a partnership with Indian shuttler, that is HS Pranoy, right? He is 31, and this is basically for their collaboration. Next, NPCI International Payments Limited, they signed a pact with Central Bank of Dash country to develop UPI like payment system. So NPI International Payment Limited, they signed a pact with Namibia to develop a UPI like payment system. Take a note of this. Then if we talk about Nepal, RBI and Nepal's Rashtra Bank, they have signed a pact to integrate UPI and national payment interface for the cross-border payment between India and Nepal. Then if we talk about Denmark, they have signed a mobility and migration partnership to enhance people-to-people ties. If we talk about Indonesia, Reserve Bank of India and Bank of Indonesia, they have signed an MOU so that the local currencies of these two countries, that is Indonesian rupiah and Indian rupee, the trade between them can flourish, and these local currencies can be used for cross-border transaction. Next, which company has recently signed an MOU with Norway-based Ocean Sun to implement floating solar energy technology in India? It is NHPC Limited. They have signed a memorandum of understanding. It was with Ocean Sun. This is a Norway-based company, correct? And this MOU has been signed for floating solar energy technology that is based on photovoltaic panels, right? That will be mounted on the hydroelastic membranes. Then remember, if we talk about REC Limited, they have signed a memorandum of understanding with NIIFL, that is National Investment and Infrastructure Fund Limited, and it is to boost the renewable energy infrastructure in India. Then if we talk about SECI, Solar Energy Corporation of India, they have commissioned India's largest battery energy storage system, that is in Chandigarh. And NTPC Green Energy Limited, remember, they and Indus Tower, they have signed an MOU to address the need of green energy objectives. Next, who has been recently elected as the new Prime Minister of Solomon Islands? So Jeremiah Manele has been appointed as the new Prime Minister of Solomon Islands. Right? He won the PM vote here, and Jeremy Manele will be replacing Manessa Sogavre, who served as the PM of Solomon Islands for 4 terms. If we talk about Jarni Benedictson, he has now been appointed as the Prime Minister of Ireland. Prime Minister of Ireland. Then if we talk about Wothi Anjuan, correct? Wothi Anjuan will be the new Prime Minister of Vietnam. Correct? I repeat, not Prime Minister. He has been appointed as the interim President of Vietnam. If we talk about Peter Pellegrini, right, he is the former Prime Minister of Slovakia, and he is set to become as the President of Slovak Republic. And he will be replacing whom? Zuzana Kaputova. Next, which company or organization has recently developed a long-range supersonic missile-assisted release of torpedo, that is a smart system that was launched from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Island off the coast of Odisha? It is DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization. Correct? This is the organization that has developed a long-range supersonic missile-assisted release of torpedo, that is a smart system that was launched from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Island off the coast of Odisha. Take a note of this. Next thing, if we talk about Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, right? Remember Prachand. This is India's first indigenous multi-role helicopter, and it has been developed by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. And recently, Indian Army, they conducted inaugural test of 70 mm rockets and 20 mm turret guns. These turret guns will be incorporated in this Prachand helicopter. Then if we talk about Simran Flowtech Industries, remember recently Summer Air Defense Missile System, this was tested during an exercise by Indian Air Force. This is and this was tested for the first time. Remember, it has been developed by Simran Flowtech Industries. Then if we talk about BrahMos Aerospace Private Limited, remember Indian Navy collaborated with BrahMos Aerospace Private Limited, correct, to test the BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles extended range, right? Next is name the chess player who has been recently bestowed with the International Chess Federation 84th Grandmaster title. So Vaishali Ramesh Babu, right? She has been bestowed with the title of Grandmaster by FIDE. She is the brother of Grandmaster R. Pragnanda, who is the world's #1 and they are the Vaishali Ramesh Babu and R. Pragnanda. They are the world's #1 Grandmaster brother-sister duo. Then remember, after this Grandmaster title, she became the 84th Indian Grandmaster and 42nd woman from any country to hold the Grandmaster title. If we talk about Shrija Okla, she is from Telangana, right? And she won the women's single title at the World Table Tennis Barrett 2nd. Then if we talk about Kuneru Hampi, remember Kuneru Hampi has recently secured the first place in a tiebreaker match in the World Rapid Chess Women's title, right? Then if we talk about D. Gukesh, the chess grandmaster hailing from Chennai, Tamil Nadu, has won the open category. Correct, of the FIDE candidates. 2024. He defeated Hikaru Nakamura of USA to score the 9 points here. Next, when was the World Health Organization's World Immunization Week observed across the globe under the theme Humanly Possible Immunization for all. So this is observed on the last week of the April month, and it is to highlight the crucial efforts that are required to protect individuals from vaccine preventable disease. Correct? Take a note of this. Theme here is humanly possible immunization for all. Then on the first week of April, that is from 1st to 7th of April, we observe prevention of blindness week. First week of Feb, that was from 1st to 7th of Feb, it is observed as UN Interfaith Harmony week. If we talk about second week of November, this is observed as World Quality week. World Quality week, right? Next, which country has recently introduced a new kamikaze drone resembling Russia's Lancet drone? It is Iran, right? Iran, they have recently launched a new kamikaze drone that resembles the Russia's Lancet drone. Take a note of this. Moving on. Next is Ministry of Mines. They signed an MOU with which organization for sharing knowledge support in the area of critical minerals? That is Shakti Sustainable Energy Foundation, right? Ministry of Mines, they signed an MOU with Shakti Sustainable Energy Foundation during the opening ceremony of critical minerals that was held in New Delhi. Then if we talk about Khanij Bidesh India Limited, that is Kabul, they signed an MOU with CSIR's arm, that is IMMT, that is Institute of Minerals and Materials Technology, and this is for bolstering technical and knowledge cooperation for critical minerals. Then if we talk about CSIR's arm, that is National Geology Research Institute, they have also signed an MOU with Khanij Bidesh India Limited, and this is for the long-term collaboration in the field of geophysical investigation. If we talk about India Energy Storage Alliance, they have signed a pact with the Bhubaneswar City Knowledge Innovation Cluster Foundation, and this is for the promotion of clean tech and critical minerals and the boost in the energy sector of India. Next, Comptroller and an Auditor General of India, they signed an MOU with which country's Auditor General to enhance collaboration and exchange of expertise. So it was with that of Nepal, right? Who is the Auditor General of Nepal? Toyam Rayu. Who is the Comptroller and Auditor General of India? Girish Chandra Murmu. If we talk about UK, India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and UK's, remember, they have signed a letter of agreement and memorandum of understanding. This letter of letter of arrangement. This letter of arrangement was between DRDO and DSTL, that is Defence Science and Technology Laboratory of UK, and this is of India, and this was for collaboration in doing research and development in defense sector. If we talk about MOU, this was signed between India and UK, and this is basically for cadet exchange program. Then if we talk about Kenya, here remember recently MEITY of India and Ministry of Information Communication and Digital Economy of the Kenya country, they have signed a cooperation for successfully sharing the digital solutions, so that, or we can say, for digital public infrastructure. Then if we talk about Cuba, India and India's MEITY and Cuba's Ministry of Communication, they also signed an MOU for this digital public infrastructure implementation. Next, the SEBI. SEBI has unveiled measures to combat fraudulent trading in mutual funds. I repeat, SEBI approved the amendments to SEBI regulation of 1996 to enhance the existing regulatory framework by mandating AMCs to execute strong institutional mechanism to curb the fraudulent practices. Then if we talk about stock trade, remember SEBI, they have launched the beta version of T+0 settlement, right? This same day transaction settlement, this is basically what is there when you trade on any platform or any broker such as Grow or Zerodha. When you take a trade, your money, generally the amount you made profit, right, the realized PNL, that will be coming on the next day. So that is trade plus one settlement. But now a beta version of this trade plus zero settlement, that means the day you make trade, at that amount, at that time only, on that day your money will be credited to your account, right? So they have released the beta version of this T+0 rolling settlement cycle. Then if we talk about credit rating, remember SEBI have approved the CRISIL ESG ratings to provide the, or they have been approved as the E1 C1 ESG provider, ratings provider, that is Environment Social Governance Rating Provider, right? Next, Dash has recently released the report Aging Well in Asia, which states that India has the lowest health insurance coverage among the older people at 21%. So this data released by Asian Development Bank, correct, and it stated that India has the lowest health insurance penetration, that is only 21% of the population. If we talk about South Korea and Thailand, South Korea and Thailand, right? These are the two countries, they have achieved the universal health coverage, and the aging population of Asia and the Pacific is set to double nearly by 2050. Correct? Take a note of this. And remember, IRDAI, they have also removed the age limit of 65 for buying health insurance with effect from 1st of April 2024. If we talk about United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and Pacific, right, they have released a report that stated that India will lose approximately 5.8% of the daily working hours because of the climate change or because of the high heat waves that will be coming in temperature by 2030. Then if we talk about Niti Aayog, right, they have released National Multidimensional Poverty Index, and this data states that India's poverty has reduced from 29.17% in 2013-14 to just 11.28%. That means the poverty in India has reduced. Next, which organization or regulatory body recently raised India's GDP growth forecast by 40 basis points to 6.6% for FY24? Which is that organization? That is OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. This is a Paris, France based organization, and they have raised India's GDP forecast for FY25 to 6.6% by raising 40 basis points. That means they reached 0.4%. Earlier they were projecting to be 6.2%, and now it is 6.6%. If we talk about International Monetary Fund, we have seen they have raised India's GDP growth rate to 6.8% for FY25, and World Bank expects Indian economy to grow by 6.6% in FY25. And if we talk about Fitch Ratings, right, they have released the India's GDP data, and they stated that India will be growing by 7% in FY25. Next, name the personality who has recently awarded with the Whitle Gold Award 2024 by Whitle Fund for Nature in London, UK. It is Purnima Devi Burman, right, a wildlife biologist from Assam. Dr. Purnima Burman has been honored with the Whitle Gold Award, and this award is also known as Green Oscar. Correct? This was awarded to her during a ceremony at the Royal Geographical Society Award ceremony that was held in London, UK. And this was for her efforts for the conservation of the endangered species, that is greater adjutant stork, also known as Hargila, that is found in Assam in the wetland habitat. Then if we talk about Ajit Mishra, remember member of parliament and an author, remember a member of parliament and an author, Shashi Tharoor, was conferred with the Knight of the Legion of Honor, that is the French highest civilian award. Correct? If we talk about Ajit Mishra, here remember Ajit Mishra, he is an Indian born lawyer, he is working in UK, right, and he has been honored with the freedom of the city of London. Honored with the freedom of the city of London. And Shashi Tharoor honored with the Knight of the Legion honor. If we talk about Kiran Nadar, he is a philanthropist and art collector. He was also honored with the Knight of the Legion honor, that is the highest French civilian award. So both of them were awarded with this. Next, who has been recently appointed as the president of Goods and Service Tax Appellate Tribunal by appointment committee of the cabinet? So Sanjay Kumar Mishra, right, the former Chief Justice of the High Court of Jharkhand, has been appointed as the president of the GST Appellate Tribunal. If we talk about P.S. Dinesh Kumar, right, Finance Ministry appointed Justice P.S. Dinesh Kumar as the presiding officer of the Securities Appellate Tribunal for the next 4 years. If we talk about B.R. Gawai, National Legal Service Authority, that is NALSA, has appointed Bhushan Ramakrishnan Gawai, that is B.R. Gawai, the Judge of Supreme Court India, as the Chairman of the Supreme Court Legal Service Committee. If we talk about Ajay Manikrao Khanvilkar, former Supreme Court Judge Ajay Manikrao Khanvilkar was appointed as the Chairperson of Lokpal. Next, name the mission that has been recently launched by China on the Long March 5 Y8 carrier rocket to collect and bring back samples from the far side of the moon. What is the name of that mission? That is Chang'e 6. right? Launched by China National Space Administration, that is CNSA, or launched by China, and it is to basically bring the samples from the far side of the moon back to Earth. If we talk about Axiom Mission 3, that is AX3, launched by Falcon 9 rocket of SpaceX. It was launched from Kennedy Space Center in Florida, USA, and this mission carried the Turkey's first astronaut into space. Then if we talk about Bandwagon 1, this carried a total of 11 satellites launched by Falcon 9 rocket of SpaceX, and this carried a Tata satellite also, that is TSAT-1A, right, of Tata Advanced Systems Limited. Then if we talk about ExpoSat, remember ISRO's PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle C-53, correct? It has launched this, or C-58 has launched this ExpoSat satellite, correct? Take a note of this. Next is name the award or prize that has been recently given to the Palestinian journalist covering Gaza on United Nations World Press Freedom Day, which is observed across the globe on 3rd May. What is the name of it? It is UNESCO Guillermo Cano World Press Freedom Prize. The theme here is A Press for the Planet, Journalism is the Face of the Environmental Crisis, and this is the theme for the 31st anniversary of the World Press Freedom Day. And when do we observe this? It is observed on 3rd of May. If we talk about United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees Nansen Refugee Award, right? So here remember Abdul Lahi Mire, a former refugee from Somalia, has been named as the UNHCR Nansen Refugee Award, or he has been honored with this award, right? Then apart from this, remember if we talk about Felix UNESCO Peace Prize, that is your Felix Houphouet-Boigny, right? Remember Angela Merkel, former Federal Chancellor of Germany, has received this UNESCO Peace Prize for 2022. If we talk about Chameli Devi Jain Award, this award is given to journalists, and recently 2 journalists, and that 2 women media out for the outstanding women media person of the year award has been awarded here. This Chameli Devi Jain Award to journalists, that is Grishma Kuthar and Ritika Chopra. Next, according to the data released in May, India's fossil fuel based power generation capacity increased to 243.22 gigawatt in FY23. So it has increased by 2.44% to 243.22 gigawatt. Next, which company has recently launched the latest version of the lightweight artificial intelligence model, that is Phi 3 Mini? It was launched by Microsoft, right? And this is Phi 3 Mini has been described as a family of open AI models that are the most capable and cost effective small language models that are available, right? And this Phi 3 Mini is believed to be the first among the 3 small models, ChatGPT, Claude Gemini, right? Next is in May, the Indian Air Force Dash aircraft airdropped an indigenously developed heavy platform that can carry a maximum load of over 22 tons. So it is C-17 Globemaster III, right? It airdropped an indigenously developed heavy platform that can carry a maximum load of over 22 tons. Next, which company has recently launched an unmanned combat aerial vehicle, that is UCAV Flying Wedge Defence 200B, India's first indigenous military grade bomber drone? What is the name of it? It is FWD 200B. This is the name of the UCAV, that is the India's first indigenous military grade bomber drone. Question asked is that which company launched it? It was launched by Flying Wedge Defence and Aerospace Technologies Private Limited, right? Take a note of this. And this is a male UCAV, that is medium altitude long endurance unmanned combat aerial vehicle, and it has a range of up to 200 kilometers. If we talk about Adani Defence and Aerospace, here remember Indian Navy, they have received Drishti 10 Starliner that was developed by Adani Defence and Aerospace Limited, facility that is in Hyderabad, Telangana. If we talk about Maroot Drones Maroot Drone Tech Private Limited, here remember they have delivered 2 customized octa-quad coaxial X8 drones, correct? And they were delivered to NMDC, National Mineral Development Corporation. If we talk about IG drones, remember IG Drones and India's premier drone tech and analytics company. These IG Drones, they have signed an MOU with to set up a center of excellence at where? And they signed this MOU with IIM Sambalpur. Correct, to set up a first ever center of excellence at Delhi campus. That will be a center of excellence based on drones, and it will be at IIM Sambalpur. Next, which organization has recently received the guidelines for custodian banks to issue irrevocable payment commitments in the light of the T+1 settlement regime for the stocks? It is Reserve Bank of India, RBI. If we talk about SEBI, remember SEBI expanded the framework for the quality stock brokers to more stock brokers in order to protect the interest of the investor. If we talk about IRDAI, remember Narayan Health Insurance Limited, that is Narayana One Health. This is a subsidiary of Narayan Hrudyalaya Limited. They have received the license from IRDAI to operate independently as a health insurance company. If we talk about PFRDA, remember they have made changes to the PFRDA regulations of 2016 with effect from 20th of Feb. Next, RBI, they have recently approved the appointment of Dash as a part-time chairman of HDFC Bank Limited. So, Reserve Bank of India, they have recently approved the appointment of Atanu Chakrabarti as the part-time chairman of HDFC Bank. Correct? And he will be in this position for the next 3 years. If we talk about Anil Kumar Lahoti, remember ACC, Appointment Committee of the Cabinet, has approved the appointment of the former Railway Board Chairman and Chief Executive Officer Anil Kumar Lahoti as the 9th Chairman of TRAI, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, for the next 3 years until the age of 65. If we talk about S. Ravindran, remember RBI approved S. Ravindran as the part-time chairman of Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank Limited. And if we talk about Harun Rashid Khan, former Deputy Governor of RBI, Harun Rashid Khan was appointed as the part-time chairman of AU Small Finance Bank. Next, which small finance bank recently appointed Sanjeev Nautiyal as the MD and CEO for 3 years with effect from 1st of July 2024? It is Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, and he will be succeeding Itera Davis. If we talk about AU Small Finance Bank, they have introduced a suite of financial products such as they have launched 2 credit cards, that is your AU Spont credit card and AU Nomo credit card, along with ATM insurance has also been launched by them. Right, AU Small Finance Bank. If we talk about SBM Bank, remember Ashish Vijayakar has been appointed. Ashish Vijayakar has been appointed as MD and CEO of SBM Bank for the next 3 years. And if we talk about Jana Small Finance Bank, here remember RBI has approved the reappointment of Ajay Kanwal as the MD and CEO of Jana Small Finance Bank for the next 3 years. Next, who has been recently appointed as the chairperson of the Special Olympics Asia Pacific Advisory Council? So Malika Nadda has been appointed as the chairperson of the Special Olympic Asia Pacific Advisory Council, and she is the president of the Special Olympics Bharat India. Correct? And she will be in this position for the next 3 years. Apart from this, remember she has been honored with Rajiv Gandhi Manav Seva Award in 2010, and she was also awarded with the Derozio Award in 2011 in the field of education and human enrichment. Then if we talk about Mary Kom, she is the only Indian athlete who has qualified for Indian boxer who has qualified for Paris Olympic Games, and then she has also been appointed as the chef de mission of Indian Olympic contingent to Paris Olympic Games. Then if we talk about Shiny Wilson, she is a former Indian track and field athlete, and she has been nominated as the member of the Athletic Commission of the Asian Athletic Association. Right? Then if we talk about Narsingh Yadav, remember Narsingh Pancham Yadav was elected as the chairman of the 7-member committee of the Athletics Committee, or he has been appointed as the chairman of the 7-member Athletics Commission of the Wrestling Federation of India. Next, who took charge as the chairman cum managing director of the National Small Industries Corporation Limited, that is NSIC, on 2nd May. So Dr. Subhranshu Shekhar Acharya, right, has been assumed or has appointed as the chairman cum managing director of NSIC, that is your National Small Industries Corporation Limited. This is a Mini Ratna category 2 company of the Government of India that comes under Ministry of MSME. And here Dr. Subhranshu Shekhar Acharya, he will be replacing Vipul Goyal. He will be replacing Vipul Goyal. If we talk about Rajendra Prasad Goyal, he assumed the charge as chairman and managing director of Power Grid. If we talk about P. Santosh, he became the MD and CEO of NARCL, that is National Asset Reconstruction Company, National Asset Reconstruction of India Limited. Next, when was the International Firefighters Day observed across the globe? So on 4th of May, we observe International Firefighters Day. Correct? Take a note of this. And this 4th of May, it also marks the Saint Florian's Day, named as after Saint Florian, the patron saint of the firefighter. Correct? And blue ribbon, red blue ribbon here. Red blue ribbon is the symbol here for the International Firefighters Day. On 14th of April, we observe National Fire Service Day. Then remember, on 22nd of March, we observe World Water Day, and theme here being Water for Peace. And on 18th of September, we observe World Water Monitoring Day. World Water Monitoring Day. Next, which startup has recently launched India's first commercial system on chip named Secure IoT, that is Internet of Things? It is Mindgrove. This is the name of the startup, Mindgrove, right? And this is a semiconductor startup that is backed by IIT Madras, correct? And they have recently launched India's first commercial system on chip named Secure Internet of Things. These chips will be probably 30% less expensive than the existing chips. And they have a performance of they have clocked a performance close to 700 megahertz. If we talk about startup Tamil Nadu, remember DBS Bank. They have announced collaboration with Startup Tamil Nadu. This is a nodal agency of Tamil Nadu that foster entrepreneurship, and their partnership will engage providing help to 1000 early startups in Tamil Nadu in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Then if we talk about Orient Space, this is a Chinese space startup firm, and they have launched Gravity 1 or Yinlin 1. Right? And this was launched from Defu 15002. Remember, this is a mobile C platform. Then if we talk about Bihar Startup Trust, Bihar Startup Fund Trust, remember, they have partnered, or we can say the government of Bihar, they have partnered with SIDBI in order to foster entrepreneurship in the state of Bihar. Next, in May, the Indian Army and Puneet Balan Group, they have jointly developed India's first Constitution Park, which was inaugurated in Pune, Maharashtra. Right? Take a note of this. Then the aim is to provide knowledge about the Constitution and instill a sense of pride in India's democratic heritage. If we talk about Mumbai, Maharashtra here, remember Mumbai, Maharashtra has overtaken Beijing, China to become the billionaire capital of Asia. Billionaire capital of Asia. Right? That is Mumbai, Maharashtra. Mukesh Ambani, he is the richest person in India, 10th richest person globally with a net worth of $115 billion. And he is the first individual to cross $100 billion mark in Asia. Right? Then if we talk about Indore and Bhopal. Here remember, for Indore and Bhopal, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, it has nominated 3 Indian cities, Indore, Bhopal and Udaipur in Rajasthan, for the Wetland City Accreditation Scheme under Ramsar Convention. Right? And these are the first 3 Indian cities to be nominated for this Wetland City Accreditation. Next, India was ranked dash in the 2024 World Press Freedom Index published by Reporters Without Borders. So India was ranked 159th in the 2024 World Press Freedom Index published by Reporters Without Borders. Right? Take a note of this. Apart from this, if we talk about Corruption Perception Index, that is CPI, released by Transparency International, here the rank of India was 193 in Corruption Perception Index out of 180 countries. Then if we talk about the 10th edition of the Women Business and Law 2024 report. This is released by World Bank, and here the rank of India was 113. Then if we talk about World Digital Competitiveness Ranking, right? This was the 7th edition of this World Digital Competitiveness Ranking released by Institute for Management Development, International Institute for Management Development, and here the rank of India was 49. Next, which of the following statements are correct with respect to standalone primary dealers borrowing foreign currency and new norms made by RBI for loans to roads and ports project? So which is that? Both A and C are right here. B is wrongly mentioned. Next, in May, who was elected as the new president of the Republic of Panama? Jose Raul Mulino was elected as the new president of the Republic of Panama. Then, apart from this, remember Alexander Stubb, right, won the presidential election to become the 13th president. He became the 13th president of Finland. Next, in which bank Carel Group Inc through its affiliate CA Besk Investment, they divested 2% stake for 1,441 crore rupees through an open market transaction? It is Yes Bank. Correct? Take a note of this. And the shares were sold for an average of 24.27 rupees per share. Correct? Apart from this, remember the private equity firm Bain Capital, they sold their remaining 1.08% stake in Axis Bank, and they were sold there for, that is your Bain Capital, and they sold it for 3,575 crore rupees. If we talk about HDFC Bank, it is India's largest private sector bank, and they have launched 4 new variants of SME focused business range credit cards, that is BizFirst, BizGrow, BizPower and BizBlack. And if we talk about ICICI Bank, they have recently increased their stake in ICICI Lombard General Insurance Company by acquiring additional 1.41% stake. Next, which company has recently delivered the second C-295 transport aircraft to the Indian Air Force? It is Airbus Defence and Space. Correct? They have recently delivered the second C-295 transport aircraft to the Indian Air Force. Correct? And the first C-295 transport was inducted into Indian Air Force in September 2023. If we talk about Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, remember Ministry of Defence, they signed a contract worth 8,073 crore rupees with Hall for the procurement of 34 advanced light helicopter Dhruv Mark 3. Right? Then if we talk about AVNL, that is Armored Vehicle Nigam Limited, Ministry of Defence, they have also signed a contract with them for the procurement of 693 armament upgrades of the Inventory Compact Vehicle, that is BMP2 to BMP2M. If we talk about Tata Advanced Systems Limited, we saw Tata Advanced Systems Limited. This is a wholly owned subsidiary of Tata Sons, right? And along them with Airbus Helicopters, right? They have signed an MOU where we will be setting up a final assembly line of H125 helicopters in India, right? Next, which country has recently won Badminton World Federation's Thomas and Uber Cup 2024 after defeating Indonesia in the finals held in Chengdu, China? It is China, right? People's Republic of China's men team, they have won the 33rd edition of the Badminton World Federation Thomas Cup. And China's women team, they have clinched the 30th edition of the Uber Cup. So it was the 30th edition of Uber Cup and 33rd edition of the Thomas Cup. And this is China's 16th time that they have won this Uber Cup. If we talk about Netherlands here, remember Belgian-Dutch driver Max Verstappen, and he drives for Red Bull and has won the F1 Bahrain Grand Prix. Then if we talk about Indian wrestler who won a total of 9 medals in Asian Wrestling Championship, Indian wrestlers contingent total won a total of 9 medals in the Asian Wrestling Championship. Then apart from this, remember Greece, here remember Greek tennis player Stefanos Tsitsipas has won the single title at the Monte Carlo Masters 2024. Next, when was the International Day of the Midwife observed across the globe? On 5th of May, we observe International Day of Midwife, and it is to recognize the contribution of midwives, that is the healthcare professionals worldwide. Theme here being Midwives, a Vital Climate Solution. Then on 20th of March, we observe World Oral Health Day. Then on 12th of December, we observe UN International Universal Health Coverage Day. And on 3rd of April, we observe the 260th Raising Day of Army Medical Corps. Next, who has been recently appointed as the country manager of the digital payment platform Visa? So Sujay Rana, right, has been appointed as the country manager of for India. Then next, which state's tourism development board has recently launched Nakshatra Shaba, India's first ever annual campaign dedicated exclusively promoting astro tourism. This is Uttarakhand state. Take a note of this. That is India's first annual campaign dedicated to promoting astro tourism. Next, which bank has recently allowed its NRI customers to use their international mobile number for making instant UPI payments in India? It is ICICI Bank. Important question, take a note of this. NRI customers will use their international mobile number and they can make UPI payments here. Right? They can make payments using iMobile Pay app. And this will be available in 10 countries, that is USA, UK, UAE, Canada, Singapore, Australia, Hong Kong, Oman, Qatar and Saudi Arabia. Next, Nepal government has recently introduced new currency notes featuring a map which includes the controversial border territories of Lipulekh, Limpiadhura and Kalapani in strategic northwest tri-junction between India, Nepal and China. What was the denomination of the currency note? It was a 100 rupees note, right? Next, and remember, Nepal shares borders with India for 5 states that include Sikkim, West Bengal, Bihar, UP and Uttarakhand. If we talk about 20 rupees note, remember in January, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched a commemorative 20 rupees note to address or to honor the first ever Vibrant Gujarat Summit 2024. That is the summit of Amritkal. Then 75 rupees coin was launched to commemorate the 75 years of our Republic Day celebration. Then if we talk about 90 rupee coin, it was launched to celebrate RBI at 90, that is to celebrate the 90 years of RBI, and a special 90 rupee coin was launched here. Next, which financial institution recently signed a master risk partition agreement with Citigroup Incorporation to enhance supply financing for small medium enterprises across Asia Pacific region? It is ADB, Asian Development Bank. If we talk about European Investment Bank, remember here Nadia Calvino, Spanish economist and civil servant, took over as the 8th president of European Investment Bank, that is EIB. Then if we talk about New Development Bank, here remember they have signed a loan agreement worth $500 million with the government of Gujarat for Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana for the construction of 1200 kilometers of road. Then if we talk about AIIB, that is Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, they invested 486 crore rupees approximately in sustainable energy infrastructure trust, that is SEIT. This is a kind of InvIT only, that is infrastructure investment trust. Next, India and Ghana, they have signed an agreement to and they have agreed to operationalize Dash within a period of 6 months at the 4th session of the India-Ghana Joint Trade Committee held in Accra, Ghana. So they have agreed to operationalize UPI in Ghana in the next 6 months. Then if we talk about free trade agreement, remember recently India and EFTA, that is European Free Trade Association, they have signed a trade and economic partnership agreement where they will be contributing $100 billion in the next 15 years to promote jobs in India also, and 1 million jobs are expected to be generated in India here. Then if we talk about the digital transformation here, remember Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology signed MOU with Republic of Cuba, correct, for digital transformation. And similarly, remember Government of India and Government of Taiwan, they signed an MOU for facilitation of employment of Indian workers in Taiwan. Next, which mutual fund company has recently launched Nifty 50 Small Cap 400 Momentum Quality 100 ETF, that is India's first mutual fund scheme with 50 mid cap and 50 small cap stocks? It is Mirai AMF, correct? Take a note of this. Then if we talk about Grow Mutual Fund, this is an asset management company. They have received the approval from SEBI to launch India's inaugural Nifty non-cyclical non-cyclical consumer index fund. Then if we talk about Zerodha Fund House, they have launched India's first growth liquid ETF, that is Zerodha Nifty 1-day rate liquid ETF. If we talk about SBI Mutual Fund, right, they have acquired 3% stake equivalent to 20.73 lakh equity shares in Savita Oil Technologies. In Savita Oil Technologies Limited through a block deal. Next, UNICEF India, they have recently named Bollywood actress Kareena Kapoor Khan as their National Celebrity Ambassador. Take a note of this. This was during the 75 years celebration of India's and UNICEF's partnership. Then who has been appointed as Celebrity Advocate? She is also Kareena Kapoor Khan. And who is the Goodwill Ambassador of UNESCO for Education for All? He will be Vinicius Junior. Right? He is a footballer. Correct? Brazilian footballer. Next, in which city ISRO successfully conducted the first ignition test on the semi-cryogenic pre-burner ignition test article on 2nd May? It was at Mahendragiri in Tamil Nadu. Next, remember, if we talk about Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh, PM Narendra Modi inaugurated PSLV integration facility. This is at Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh, and from here small satellites will be launched. If we talk about Trivandrum in Kerala, remember PM Modi inaugurated a trisonic wind tunnel. Trisonic wind tunnel, and this is the first of its kind large trisonic wind tunnel that was launched at Trivandrum, Kerala. And if we talk about Chitradurga in Karnataka, here remember ISRO, they have successfully tested Pushpak, that is a reusable launch vehicle autonomous landing mission, and it was tested at Aeronautical Test Range in Chitradurga, Karnataka. Next, in May, Lando Norris of UK won Miami Grand Prix 2024. Lando Norris represented which racing company? It represented McLaren. Right? And Red Bull is represented by Max Verstappen, who finished second, and Ferrari's Charles Leclerc secured third position here. Next, which steel company has recently supplied 3mm special alloy steel sheets for structural application in supersonic missile assisted release of torpedo, that is smart system? It is Jindal Stainless Steel Limited. And the last question for the day is, which drone manufacturer has recently signed an agreement with Indian Farmers Fertilizer Cooperative Limited IFCO for spraying agriculture products on up to 30 lakh acres of farmland? It is Drone Destination. Right, take a note of this. So these were your important current affairs for the first week of May month, friends. Now let's move to some homework question. First question is, who among the following or who won the F1 Japanese Grand Prix held in Japan in April 2024? This is your homework question, friends. And now let's move to your revision part that will be very beneficial in your learning. Which space organization has recently confirmed their Dragonfly rotorcraft mission to Titan with a total life cycle cost of $3.35 billion? Which is the right option here? It is NASA, National Aeronautics Space Administration. And this Dragonfly rotorcraft, it is targeted to arrive Titan in 2034. This, if we talk about the Titan, remember this is the largest moon of Saturn planet. And here remember the total cost that will be spent on this mission is close to $3.35 billion. Next thing, remember this mission will be launched in July 2028 and it will be arriving Titan on or in 2034. And then if we talk about Saturn, it has a total of 146 moons, out of which the largest one is Titan. And this Titan is also, remember, is the second largest moon of our solar system. Which is the largest moon? It is Ganymede. It is Ganymede, that is the moon of Jupiter, and it is the largest moon of our solar system. This is the largest moon of our solar system. Next, Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances signed an MOU with Ministry of Civil Services of which country for cooperation in human resource development in civil services over the next 5 years? It is Cambodia. Right? Cambodia. So Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, they have signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Civil Services of Cambodia, and it is for cooperation in human resource development in civil services for the next 5 years. Next, which bank has recently introduced a suite of financial products including banking industry's first ATM insurance? So this ATM insurance was launched by AU Small Finance Bank. This will also, remember, apart from this AU Small Finance Bank, they have launched two credit cards, that is your AU Spont Rupee credit card and AU NOMO, that is no missing out credit card, and apart from this an ATM insurance was also launched by them. Next, name the bank that has recently became the first bank to execute RBI's programmable CBDC pilot to compensate the farmers for carbon credit. So which is that bank? It is IndusInd Bank, right? And they will be compensating the farmers for the carbon credits using CBDC, that is your central bank digital currency pilot project. This pilot project has been initially started on 15 farmers, and these 50 farmers are from which district of which state? They are from the Ratnagiri district. And where is this Ratnagiri district? It is in the state of Maharashtra. And the aim here is to cover from 50 farmers to 1,000 farmers. Next, which company or organization has recently developed the lightest bulletproof jacket in India for protection against the highest threat level? It is DRDO, Defence Research and Development Organization. Correct? So DRDO, they have developed India's lightest bulletproof jacket for protection against the high level or more deadly ammunition. And this bulletproof jacket was developed by Defense Materials and Store Research and Development Establishment, that is a lab of DRDO. So here you can see directly DRDO can be there, or DMS RDE, that is the lab of DRDO. This can also be mentioned in the option. Where is this? It is in Kanpur, UP. Next, when was the National Panchayati Raj Day observed across India? So on 24th of April, we observed National Panchayati Raj Day. This day is also known as National Local Self-Government Day, and it is to basically honor the establishment of Panchayati Raj system. Then this day was established because of the 73rd Amendment Act of 1992, and this came into force on 24th of April 1993. And this year 2024, it marks the observance of the 15th National Panchayati Raj Day. Moving on. Which company has recently inaugurated India's first multi-purpose, that is heat and power combined green hydrogen pilot project in Himachal Pradesh? It is SJVN Limited, Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam Limited. Remember here, Geeta Kapoor, the chairman and managing director of SJVN Limited, inaugurated India's first multi-purpose green hydrogen project at 1500 megawatt Nathpa Jhakri hydropower project. Nathpa Jhakri hydropower station. And where is this located? It is located in the Jhakri district of Himachal Pradesh. Next, in April, the International Financial Service Centres Authority of India signed an MOU with Capitals Market Authority of Dash country to share information regarding technologies and innovation within the financial and regulatory ecosystem. So, IFSCA of India, it signed a memorandum of understanding with the Capital Market Authority of which country? It is of Kuwait, right? And this MOU was signed on the sidelines of India-Kuwait Investment Conference 2.0 that was held. The location can definitely be asked here, that where was India-Kuwait Investment Conference 2.0 held? It was held in Kuwait, in Kuwait city of Kuwait. Next, which bank has recently reappointed Amitabh Singh Chaudhary as their managing director and chief executive officer? So, which bank has appointed? It is Axis Bank, right? Has appointed Amitabh Singh Chaudhary as their managing director and chief executive officer. He will be in this position for the next 3 years. That will be from 1st of January 2025 to 31st of December 2027. This will be his second extension, and previously his extension came in 2022. Apart from this, the board of Axis Bank has also approved the reappointment of Meena Ganesh and Gopala Raman as its independent director for second term of 4 years. Next, who has been recently appointed as the United Nations resident coordinator from India in the Republic of Indonesia? Right option is Geeta Sabharwal. Right, Geeta Sabharwal of India took charge as the UN resident coordinator in the Republic of Indonesia. She will succeed whom? She will be succeeding Valérie Julien, and she's of France, right? And she has been in this position since October 2020. Prior to the appointment, Geeta Sabharwal, she was serving as the UN Resident Coordinator in Thailand since 2020 and as Peace Building and Development Advisor at the UN in Sri Lanka.